Whoa, we're almost late to this review. So, I had so much fun reviewing Splatterhouse Naughty Graffiti yesterday that I am going to do another review. Actually, I was always going to do all 31 of these reviews, but I had so much fun. I love Halloween so much that I'm so excited about doing this review. I got my ghost cup right here. That's some good water out of that ghost cup. And I got all these Halloween decorations, which is only like a couple, but there'll be more throughout the month as Halloween gets closer and closer. But, so I'm doing a great game today. I'm doing Castlevania, one game that everybody always knows about, and one of the classics that has spawned like a million games. And I'm going to be doing multiple Castlevania games throughout Halloween in the October times. But you can actually hear my opinion on this game. I didn't play this game when I was a kid. I think the first time I played it was when maybe I was like 11 or 12. So I guess I'm still a kid. But my friends let me borrow the NES because I hadn't played an NES game, and I had an itch for retro games. And so I played Castlevania. I was like, yeah, this game is pretty awesome. Though I did find out that it has some flaws. And I'll be talking about those and talking about how awesome it is and talking about Simon Belmont fighting Meat in the wall. Probably won't talk about that because everybody's already talked about that. That's kind of cliche. But I'll definitely be saying something about how great Castlevania is. And I'll be saying a lot more about how great Halloween is. So, this is a Dark Avenger review! Let's get on to the games! One of my favorites, Castlevania. Not much to say on this because everything's been said already about this game, but it's a lovely little game that has some great atmosphere to it. It is genuinely brooding and a little bit creepy, this atmosphere, and definitely one of the best creepy games for the NES. It makes me feel a little bit creeped out. I'm like I'm in a horror movie a little bit if you really can get that involved in an NES game. I mean, I know there's games nowadays that are a little more involving and a little more creepy, but this was one of the first and is one of the best still to this day. I think Castlevania holds up definitely as an NES game. So Castlevania is about this guy who's trying to kill Dracula, and basically he's whipping all these ghosts and goblins and ghouls and things like that, and you get hearts, and hearts are not, of course, what you would think they are. The hearts actually give you power for your special weapon, not health. Like things like meat and then give you health back, but for your special powers is hearts, which is kind of backwards for a lot of games, but everybody who's played Castlevania has got used to it. So the meat also kind of makes sense that you would get powers from it. So you have to whip everything to try to find hearts because your special weapons are important. So you whip candles, you whip anything, you whip all the enemies to try to find hearts to get up your special weapons, because your special weapons are almost a little bit like Mega Man. Like a lot of them can work really well on the bosses. Like there's a boss right here later that's a bat, and if you use the right weapon on him, he goes down pretty easily. If you use the whip, it's a little bit harder. So you see right here, there's a lot of special things in Castlevania, and if you whip into the wall, you got that meat right there. And I'm not gonna make a joke about the meat, but that would be probably still if it was meat and it's still in the wall, whatever. So that joke's already been made a million times. So there's a couple of interesting things about Castlevania, like going up the steps. It's kind of awkward almost to go up the steps, and sometimes I have a problem going up the steps. I use my weapon instead of going up the steps. Then there's something like this, and everybody's talked about it, but the Medusa heads are really hard to get out of the way and make it so that you don't hit them. So the Medusa heads are not one of my favorite things at Castlevania, and they definitely have a weird pattern that you can't really escape that much. You have to be really on your toes 100% of the time to not get hit by the Medusa heads. And the thing about the Medusa heads too is if you get hit by one, you get knocked back like this right there. Knocked back. Someone Bama is supposed to be a hero, and he gets knocked back like that. I would never get knocked back like that. What kind of hero does that? Jeez, wow. Maybe I understand why someone Bima gets knocked back now. So besides knockback and the Medusa heads, I wouldn't have much else to complain about this game. I think this game is one of the masterpieces of the NES. It's so satisfying to whip something with your whip and then go into dust, or them to turn into hearts, and you'll be able to use their hearts to power your secondary weapons. This game is so awesome. I love the range of the whip. not every game has some kind of whip that you can have that has such a range. Like a lot of the games give you like little stubby swords. Like I remember in the Angry Video Game review of Hook, where the guy looked like he barely had a sword at all, and that's the problem in a lot of the NES games and different games, that your range is so short. And even though the range of the whip is long, and Simon Belmont is able to get enemies on long range, and he has other long range weapons, this does not make the game any easier. This is definitely a challenging game. Right here it says a Medusa head. You follow those little Medusa heads, now you fight the bigger one, though she doesn't turn you to stone. But if you have this knife right here, it makes the game a lot easier with the Medusa head, and like I said, it's like a Mega Man type deal. You have the right weapon, you can beat the boss easier. So you get this glowing orb, and then you go on to the next level, and you go to a little map sequence, which makes this seem like such a more grand adventure. I like how this shows a map of all the castle and where you gotta go next. I don't know how to read this map, and I don't know if it really means even that much, but it's cool to just make this seem like it's a grand adventure, because this is Simon Belmont's grand adventure to kill Dracula. And right here is the last level. I show you right here the fight, the epic fight with Dracula. So you gotta whip all the hearts to make sure that you get every single advantage you can have over Dracula, because Dracula appears and you cannot mess up. If you mess up in this battle, you can be done for, because it's a two-fold battle, and you beat him once and you gotta basically beat him again, and if you mess up, it's I wouldn't say it's over. You can still have a chance, but this is one of the hardest battles that I've ever beaten in an NES game. I know a lot of NES games are kind of harder than this, but I love this Dracula fight, because after all your work, after all you've done, you finally get to the end of the game, and it's so satisfying to go against Dracula. Some of the final bosses in some NES games and some games overall are not the best, but Dracula, what better boss can you have than Dracula? He is the prince of all the undead. He is the turner of souls, the maker of ghouls, and the maker of demons. So Dracula, you basically defeat him, and then everything's a happy day, except for that the castle falls down and that you're in the castle, so you might be dead also. Well, I guess not, because there's a sequel to this game. But this Dracula fight kind of looks repetitive, but if you're actually in the fight, it's a hardcore fight, and your nerves are going, and you're sweating, and your palms are dripping, pouring sweat, and you're yelling at people if they're trying to distract you or call you on their phone or talk to you. So anyways, enough stalling of this game. This game is obviously a good game. I just kind of had to make a little bit more to it to tell all the guys my opinion of the game. Like I said, I love the controls. The controls are good. There's the coming back, like when you get hit, the fallback, that's not good, because I fell back many times into pits because I got hit, especially by the Medusa heads. There's a little bit of control. I forgot to mention that when you jump, if you hit your whip at the same time, then you get extra momentum, and it's kind of weird, and I fell into a lot of pits like that, but once you get used to it, it's good. So I definitely recommend this game. If you want to know more about this game, don't listen to me, just play this game. It's definitely worth playing, even though it's an NES game from a long time ago, and it's interesting to check out the Famicom because it's a little bit different on the Famicom. There's some different title screens, because there is skulls on the title screen instead of the regular title screen that we know in America, and there's just slight differences. So I definitely give this game a 5 out of 5 pumpkins, or whatever you want to give that rating, or something like that. I know all reviewers have to give a 5 out of 5 of something for Castlevania. So this has been Duck Avenger Production, and this is 31 reviews for 31 days in October. I'll see you tomorrow with Monster in my pocket. Yeah. Man, sometimes I think I'm a little too enthusiastic for all this Halloween stuff, but I love Halloween. And this new mic has made me want to feel like a WWE wrestler. Be like, finally, The Rock. Oh no, that's not a good rock voice. Let's see. Finally, The Rock. I can't do it at all. But yeah, this microphone is pretty fun. So this has been another Duck Avenger review. Yeah. So basically come back tomorrow, because there will be review number 3 for October 3rd, Monster in My Pocket. If you haven't heard of it, it's a Konami game that had a TV show, a comic book, and it gave you little mushy figures in the game too. It's pretty awesome, and I'll be reviewing that tomorrow. Adios. This has been Duck Avenger. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. Tell me if you like me. Tell me if you don't. Adios, and happy Halloween season. Ooh, scary.